Hello friends, and welcome back to Amir's Allotment. Today's episode is full of blooms. Colour surrounds us, from the vibrant flowers to some of the veg and even the butterflies. The peacock butterflies are everywhere right now, and it is such a beautiful sight. The peacock butterfly, one of my most favourite butterflies, and it's such a pleasure to see it on my allotment plot. In fact, there were so many of them today, a real pleasure. Check out these peppers, ready to harvest. I'm really looking forward to this. So let's harvest this bell pepper. It's called tequila, and that's come away nicely because it's nice and ready. So got one there, and this one looks like it's ready as well. And when they come off really easily like that, you can tell they're ripe. Let's see. Do with a bit more growing. I think this one at the back can come away as well, because it's important to pick them when they're this size, because then you give the plant a bit more energy to start putting in to the other fruits. But really happy with that, and they smell amazing, like a really nice fragrance. That's amazing. Lovely harvest of sweet peppers. Here is the first harvest of some of my ripe tomatoes this year, and it's a yellow variety, and they're called pear drop, and they look amazing. There's quite a lot on the plant, but loads of them have turned yellow, so I'm looking forward to trying these. Thank you for the lovely messages. Quite a few of you spotted me on BBC Gardener's World on Friday, and I really do appreciate the messages. It was great fun to be on the show. I sent that clip in weeks ago, and to get a message to say it was going to be on Friday on the show was great fun. And it was lovely to get a mention from Monty Don himself. I'm a massive fan of Gardener's World, and as you can imagine, I was super chuffed. I must admit, I'm not the best at picking blackberries. Thorns. Oh. But the harvest is amazing. Got loads on this, loads, absolutely. It's just covered. So lots to come, but that's plenty for what I need. We've run out of onions at home, so I'm going to pick some fresh to cook today. I'm going to try and pick some of the largest ones. I don't need very many. You can see that this one looks like a big one. Perfect size. That's great. It's just a perfect size, so yeah, much better than the ones that we had. for the onion sets, so we'll use that today. Going to pick these two because I am leaving the rest to grow. I can tell these onions have got plenty of time to grow, but two is enough for what I need. In the bed next to it, where the lettuce is bolted, I'm just going to remove those lettuce, my Lola Rossa Christmas tree. There's some shallots in this bed that I'm just going to pick. Not bad. Don't usually have much luck with shallots, but these are alright. These cucumbers in this bed need tying in. They've really started to put on some size now, really want to climb. So I'm going to try and get them to climb up this bamboo. Ideally I could do with some netting across it as well. But yeah, if I find something I'll put it in. But for now, I'm just going to tie them in. So I'm just going to tie them in using some of these plant ties. Tying them in, I can see that there are lots of fruits forming on these, which is great to see, and they're all starting to flower as well. So in this flower bed I planted this Musa sycamensis. It's also known as the red tiger because the leaves, it grows these large banana leaves. It's a tiny plant at the moment, but as it grows these get really big and they're striped. That's why it gets its name, red tiger. Also the underside of it has this sort of red tone to it as well. So the underside of the leaves, this one doesn't have it as much, but this one does. It has this sort of red. So that's what it's called. Now this plant really struggled in my back garden. Now I've got some very tall Musa bastrus at home that are doing really, really well. They're about 10 foot, 12 foot, they're really big, and they seem to do really well every year. But this particular plant seemed to just struggle wherever I put it in my garden. But I do have a lot of slugs as well, and more pests for some reason. I don't know, they just seem to be drawn to it. So this year I took it indoors and it was really small, and now it has developed these tiny little pups that are putting on some size too. So there's actually 3 pups. There's another tiny one over there. So yeah, so these are actually doing better here. I've directly planted it in here. Soon it'll put on some size and it will look amazing. But for now, and over the winter I will protect it of course, because this one I do find is a little bit less hardier than the Musa bastru. Some people might disagree with me there, but I've always found it. And I've also found that I've seen some friends with mature plants and they seem to get very, very tall quickly, just like the Musa bastru when they get started. But for some reason this plant has struggled, but it seems to be much happier here. So let's see what happens. So I've just picked some gladioli. Let me show you. Gladioli, of course, make brilliant cut flowers. I leave lots on the plot for the pollinators to really enjoy, and I like to take some home for my wife to enjoy. In fact, we all enjoy it. Lots of colour indoors. It feels like bringing the garden indoors, and at this time of year I can just pick different colours and bring them home, and they just look brilliant in a vase. Hello. Just a quick greenhouse update. Tomatoes are looking fab, not coloured up yet, but we've got plenty of time for them to ripen nicely. But yeah, just look at that, some nice chunky monkeys. There's some more up here, and our plum tomatoes as well, looking brilliant. We've got lots of these chili peppers. They can be eaten green in cooking or left to turn red on the vine. So yeah, I've got lots of these lovely chili peppers coming along nicely. And our 2 watermelons are doing really well as well, ripening nicely, and they're both sat here together and doing really well. Here's the big one, and it really is ripening nicely. It's really I can now smell the melon fragrance, and this one is ripening nicely on the vine. When the weather's this lovely and the garden is in full bloom, it's lovely to be here, and I enjoy it just as much as some of you guys, so thank you for that. I'll hopefully see you in the next one, but from me for now, it's goodbye.